We're always told that having a high IQ is like winning the lottery, right? It's supposed to be the ultimate ticket to success. But what if that's just not true? What if it's actually a lie? Because psychology shows us something pretty brutal and honestly kind of backward. For a lot of really brilliant people, their own intelligence is the very thing holding them back.
So that brings us to the big question here. Is that incredible brain of yours actually your greatest asset, or has it turned into your biggest obstacle? I mean, if you're someone who has all these amazing ideas, but you just can't seem to get started, you're stuck at square one, it's probably not because you're lazy. It might just be that you're too smart for your own good. And that's the core of this whole paradox. When you've got this powerful intellect, but you're not using it in the right way, it can become a kind of psychological trap. It's not about willpower. It's really just the nature of having a super analytical mind. So let's dig in and break down exactly how this happens.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the traps of overthinking. This is where that superpower of seeing every single possibility actually leads to you doing, well, nothing at all. And the first trap is a total classic, analysis paralysis. You've probably heard of it. The smarter you are, the more options you see, right? You see all the angles, all the variables. And yeah, that sounds awesome, like a superpower. But what it really does is create this crippling hesitation. It turns what should be a simple decision into this impossible math problem. This little chart just nails the difference between action and analysis. Think about it. An average person just picks a lane and starts driving. But the super intelligent person, they see 20 different lanes, and they feel like they have to research the traffic patterns and the best route for each one of them. The result? They never even leave the parking lot. They are literally being beaten by people who are less book smart just because those people actually do something. And this leads right into the next trap, what I like to call the illusion of productivity. You know the feeling. Your brain feels super busy because you're consuming information. You're watching tutorials, reading articles, making plans. It's like mental cardio. You feel like you're sweating it out on a treadmill, but you haven't actually moved an inch. You've got to remember, real productivity isn't about what goes into your head. It's all about what comes out. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? It is like standing in front of 50 doors, desperately calculating while someone less intelligent just kicks one open. It's the curse of knowing too much. Your mind is so good at processing every single risk, every potential way this could fail, that taking that first step just feels impossibly heavy. You get so wrapped up in calculating the odds on all 50 doors that you completely miss the point. Progress only happens when you finally just pick a door and walk through it. But, it's not all just about overanalyzing things. The next set of traps are much more emotional. We're talking about ego and fear. This is all about how your identity as the smart one can actually stop you from taking the risks you need to take. So many smart people wear perfectionist as a badge of honor, but psychology pulls back the curtain on what's really happening. It's not really about having high standards. It's fear. It's a deep, gut-level fear of failing in front of other people. The pain of looking stupid just feels so much bigger and more real than the potential reward of actually succeeding. I mean, think about it. How many brilliant projects do you have sitting on your hard drive like 90% done? Why is that? Because 90% is safe. As long as it's never officially finished, it can never really be judged, right? It can't fail. Perfectionism is just a fantastic defense mechanism for your ego. So what's the antidote? It's this simple, maybe even brutal little phrase. Done will always beat perfect. A messy, imperfect project that's actually finished and out in the world is worth so much more than some perfect idea that only exists in your head. Action beats thinking about action. Every single time. Okay, now look at this. This is the path to growth for everyone. Step 1, you try a new skill. Step 2, you look foolish. Step 3, you make a ton of mistakes. And step 4, you learn and grow. But here's the problem. For someone whose entire identity is wrapped up in being the smart one, step 2, looking foolish, feels like a life or death threat. So the ego builds this giant wall right there, refusing to risk it. And by doing that, it blocks off the entire path to growth. All right, our last trap is a big one. It's what we'll call the underdeveloped effort muscle. And this really explains that classic story of why the person with raw talent so often gets beaten by the person with relentless grit. And where does this weakness come from? Well, it often starts way back in childhood. For a lot of really smart people, school was just easy.
They could get by, even get great grades, just by coasting on their natural intellect. They didn't really have to try that hard. The downside, though, is that they never built up that muscle for sustained, gritty, hard work.
It's literally the story of the tortoise and the hare. The hare, that's the sporadic genius. They're brilliant in these short little sprints, but as soon as they hit a task that requires a long, ugly grind, they just stall out. And the tortoise, the consistent performer, they might not be the genius in the room, but they just never stop moving. They're building that effort muscle day in and day out, and that's what wins the race in the end. Okay, so we spent all this time talking about the traps. That's the bad news. The good news is, how do you get out of them? This last section is all about the path to action, a really clear, simple strategy to finally break free. Here's the funny thing. The solution isn't to get even smarter. It's actually to kind of act dumber. You have to intentionally lower your own barrier to taking action. You have to stop waiting for that perfect plan or the perfect moment to arrive. You just have to start, long before you feel ready. And maybe the most important thing of all, give yourself permission to put messy, imperfect work out into the world just to get it done and move on. And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. Your intelligence, it gives you incredible, amazing potential, but it's only action that actually delivers results. A bunch of small, imperfect steps taken consistently will always beat a brilliant, perfect plan that never actually happens. So, I want to leave you with a question to think about. As you look back on everything we just covered, the analysis paralysis, the perfectionism trap, the ego getting in the way, that weak effort muscle, which one of those is holding you back the most right now?